welcome to my yoga class. I'm teaching today from Tahoma Athletic Club. Before we actually start our flow, I wanted to show you one of the really useful tools that we have at a gym and I have at home. I encourage you to get one or to find something like it. You can actually, this is called a foam roller. You can actually use PVC pipe also. Anything that's round and rolls. In fact, you can even use like a what do you call them? Like those rollers for like pie dough, if you want to roll and roll out some tension in your body. I really like this tool because I tend to get really tight muscles and I have a hard time getting them relaxed. So I'm going to just show you a few things that you can do with a foam roller. I'm going to start out with the calf here. So I'm just putting one leg on and I'm going to lift up a little bit and just kind of roll back and forth. And this can feel really intense to the point that the tighter your muscles are, it might even feel kind of painful. And that's just the roller breaking up the fascia, the muscle fibers that have gotten really tight. And this will really help prevent injury and tightness. So I love this, especially if I've had a really intense workout and my muscles are sore, to just release some of that tension. Because sometimes with discomfort, we actually will tighten up even more to protect from the discomfort. All right, let's get the other side now. So just rolling that calf. And I'm just using my body weight here, but if that's a little bit much, you can also kind of release a little bit down so you're not putting quite as much weight. My muscles are tight today, so this is feeling intense, and I'm trying to relax into this discomfort and breathe into it. All right, I'm going to take a little break from rolling and just put my legs up and stretch out on the roller. And I never bounce when I stretch. Sometimes I pulse gently, but you never want to be bouncing. That can do damage. All right, let's get the front of the thighs now. So we're going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to balance on this and just kind of roll a little bit. And this is kind of fun actually. Just kind of roll back and forth, getting the front of those thighs. And this is not an expensive piece of equipment. You can get this on Amazon for like 30 bucks. I recommend getting the dark foam rather than the light foam because you want that harder surface. Okay, now I'm going to get the hip and buns. So coming to the side, I'm kind of resting here. First I'm going to get kind of behind and roll out on the buns here. Just getting into that hip. And you can do this before or after you work out. I'm already a little warm because I've done some things this morning. All right, so I got there. Now I'm going to go onto this side, kind of like where the IT band is, and I'm just kind of rolling back and forth on that hip. All the way up to like kind of where the pelvic bone is. just breathing and trying to let go of some of that tension. I tend to really carry tension in my body. I don't usually experience it as much emotionally because I get out of touch. All right, let's get the other side now. So I'm gonna get the other bun, just kind of rolling back and forth here. So I'm just kind of rolling back and forth on that sits bone. All right, now let's get the side of the hips. I'm coming almost like into a side plank. I have my leg in front of me, but you can have your leg behind you too. And I'm just kind of rolling back and forth here on that hip. Or sorry, on that IT band on the side of the leg. All right. Try to get the inner thigh a little bit. So lifting up, I'm gonna kind of, I don't know if this is working as well, but kind of rolling back and forth and getting that inner thigh. And now leaving this here, I'm gonna stretch up and over and kind of stretch forward here. I'm going to try to get that other side. So just kind of trying to get some movement here. So just getting that inner thigh a little bit here. And now I'm going to release and stretch up and over. And now coming forward a little bit. And you can do a lot more than this with the foam roller. If you actually look up on YouTube, there's a lot of foam rolling routines that you can do. I'm going to show you some for the back now. I tend to get really tight in the back. So I'm kind of in a crab-like position here. And I'm just rolling back and forth here a little bit on the lower back, going all the way down to the hips. And now I'm going to get the upper back, and this is a real problem place for me. I'm going to bring the roller right underneath where my scapula are, kind of like those wings on your back. And I'm going to just relax onto this and maybe move just a little bit to roll out any tension. Now, if this is bothering your neck, you can support the head and neck here. I'm going to kind of roll down. And you can just kind of feel this out. But this is a great tool for physical therapy. All right. That feels nice. All right, let me move you just a little bit. There we go. All right, let's start out with a little bit of breath work. So bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna do like a half sun salutation here. So inhale up, exhale open. Inhale back up, exhale to heart center. Inhale lift, exhale open. Inhale back up, center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. And let's twist over to the right. So just getting that nice twist in the spine is so good for the spine and also for the discs between the vertebrae to keep everything nice and flexible. All right, let's come back to center, and now lifting up, we're gonna twist over to the other side. And coming back to center, let's extend the legs out, and we're gonna stretch a little bit more through the inner thighs. And you can walk the hands forward if you want here. And don't worry about how far you stretch. This isn't a competition. It's about getting that stretch in your body, feeling that nice balance of tension where it's not painful, but it's intense. All right, coming back up, I'm gonna bring my feet in together and just gently lean forward for a bound ankle stretch. Today we're going to be working the core through some movements, just trying to use functional movements. So we're going to do a lot of like curtsying and side lunges and like lifting up the leg to work the core here. So if you need a break, feel free to take a break. Come into child's pose. Or be done if you're ready to be done. But I encourage you to really challenge yourself, because that's where we get growth, is when we push past that comfort zone. All right, let's gently close the legs, and I'm going to do one more little massage on the rear here. This is really nice if you have any tension in your hips, if you tend to hold tension there, or if you have any like arthritis issues. Just kind of a little massage here. Also very good for the spine, this twisting. And I'm gonna come into a forward fold. I'm gonna kind of walk back so you can see me. Gently straightening the legs. And you can come into a forward fold in your own way. Crossing the arms here, let's just let the head and neck hang here. Getting some length in the spine. At the end of the day, you're actually physically shorter because of all the compression that happens in the spine. This is a great way to stretch out and lengthen the spine, and you're welcome to bend the knees if it's too intense on the back of the legs, because we're really trying to focus on the spine here. The back of the legs will open up when they're ready. So I like to sway when I'm in a forward fold. I'm going to release the hands and just kind of finger, like I'm finger painting here on my mat. And I tend to be pretty flexible, so don't compare your flexibility to mine. It's okay. Being more flexible doesn't make you better. It's not a competition. It's just your body and muscle tone and your genetics, the way you're built. All right, now I'm gonna do a few little, kind of like a stink bug here. I'm gonna wake up the feet. So I'm gonna lower down, lifting up the heels and straighten. Lower, lift, lifting up the heels and straighten. And you can do this a little bit less of a bend if this hurts your knees to come all the way down. And just lowering and lifting those feet gives a nice stretch on the back of the feet. I'm going to toe heel those feet in a little more. Lower and lift. And I'm going to lower and I'm going to hold here and see if I can balance. Bringing my hands to heart center. And release down. I'm going to do a few more of these squats. So straighten and bend. I'll show this a little bit less of a bend. You can just do a little bend here. And now I'm going to come all the way down. And I'm really waking up in the thighs here. It feels good. And lower. Let's try that balance again. So you can drop your knees here if this feels better. I am going to actually balance on the toes here, bringing the hands to heart center. And release. Let's come on to all fours and we can do some cat and cow stretches here. First, actually, I think I'm gonna stretch out a little bit in down dog. So curling the toes under, let's lift the knees up and just stretch out through the calves here. Just walking out, pedaling the legs. Maybe bending, coming way back like you're about to leap, and then straightening. And again, walking out a little bit here, pedaling those legs. And I'm gonna drop the knees down, untuck the toes, and we'll do some cat and cow stretches here. So drop the belly, look up, inhale, tilting the tailbone up, and then exhale, round, look at the belly button. So just moving back and forth with your breath, connecting to your body and just noticing what you're feeling. See if you can stay with the experience in yoga, whatever it is. I love to take walks and daydream, but yoga's not the time to be daydreaming. It's a time to really come into the body, be with the experience, and that's where we can heal any grief or trauma or unresolved issues. Also by being mindful and with the body, that's how we can prevent injuries. Ourselves from pushing the body too far or not pushing far enough. All right, let's work those lower abdominals. This is kind of a hard area to get down here, but it's very important because these lower abdominals support all your digestive organs. So pressing into your instep, the instep is the top of the foot here. We're gonna lift those knees up a little bit and then lower. Lift and lower. And if you can't quite get those knees up off the mat, just the effort of trying to lift them is gonna start to strengthen those lower abdominals and get you a stronger core. We really want to develop strong core muscles, and that's all the way through the back and the front of the body and even all the way into the rear, because that helps support our frame so we can have mobility and be strong and do the things that we want to do and feel healthy. Just a few more of these. And let's take a little break in child's pose. Stretch out. All right, let's come back to downward facing dog. Rock forward, curl the toes under, lift the knees up, and press back, and let's walk it out here. And we're gonna move into our sun salutations, and then we'll move into our flow, which is gonna be a very non-traditional flow today. Hope you like it. Lifting those hip bones up, I'm gonna lower the knees and lift them here. Just a little bit of a squat here. Lowering and lifting. And let's lower in a lunge, coming into like a turbo dog here. And now you can either jump or hop up to the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. I'll scooch back so you can see me. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, look up. Hands on shins or towards the mat. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow down like you're swan diving all the way down. Inhale, look up. And let's bend the knees, and you're gonna step back. I'm gonna step forward. I think I'm gonna lift you up just a little bit here. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm new to this whole filmmaking thing. Okay, let's rock forward. You can drop your knees here, lower down. Untuck the toes, inhale, lift up, low cobra. And we're gonna make our way up and back again to downward facing dog and walk that dog out. And let's lower the knees and lift again. And now let's lift the right leg up. Float it all the way on up, and I'm gonna bend that knee, stack the hips, and open up here through the side body. Extend up, and now Now stepping all the way up to the front toe, coming into a low lunge here. And I'm gonna hold this low lunge, opening up a little bit through the hips. Okay, back foot comes down. Let's make our way all the way up to warrior one. I'll step back a little bit so you can see me here. Shoulders down, heart is open here. Nice deep breaths. Now we're going to come into kind of like an airplane pose. I'm going to step forward into that front leg and bring the back leg a little ways up. Okay, this back foot's going to stay down. And in order to work the core a little more, we're going to come down, tap the floor, and then up. Down, and up. Down, and up. I'm keeping that back toe down. You can have it lifted if you're a little bit more, if your balance is a little better than mine. I kind of need a little more stability here. All right, let's stop here. Now I'm going to take this back foot and step it behind, okay? Interlacing the hands, I'm going to stretch up and over here. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of a curtsy. Reach your hands behind. Okay, interlace, and I'm going to step back, lift. So lowering and lifting that back heel. And you can release your hands now and bring them to heart center. Maybe come a little deeper in the curtsy here. Lower the back heel, lift. Lower, lift. So lower the back heel and then curtsy. Lower the back heel and curtsy. All right, now we're gonna do some, we're gonna do some core work here. So let's stretch up and over again. And now we're gonna lift that leg and step behind. Lift, step behind. 2, let's go to 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's hold this. So lifting to the side. And let's step behind. Back foot's at an angle. Now we're just gonna stretch forward towards that front leg. This is called a pyramid stretch. All right, bend that front leg, release the hands, and we're gonna do a little standing curtsy here. So lifting this back leg up, you're gonna curtsy and lift. Last one, let's stretch it up and release into a forward fold. Let's inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll get the other side now. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, bow down. Inhale, look up, and coming back into that downward facing dog, walking it out here. Let's float this left leg up, bend the knees, stack the hips here, opening up. Inhale that leg up, exhale, step it through, making your way to warrior one. Shoulders down, heart is open. Breathe. Okay, now I am going to bring this front leg back and bring the back leg kind of up into like an airplane pose, but with the back toe down. Oops, let me come back a little so you can see me more. And I'm gonna lower down, and you can bend the front knee here, and then come up, lower, and up, lower, and up, lower, and up. And this really is a very functional movement here. And I'm going to do one more. And now I'm going to step behind with this back leg, interlace the hands, and stretch up and over here. Just stretching through the side body here. Releasing the hands behind me. I'm going to interlace them for the first part of this. I'm going to come up onto the ball of the back foot and bend, lift, and then curtsy. Lower the heel, lift, and curtsy. Bringing the hands to heart center now. Same thing. Lower that foot back and curtsy. And your range of motion may be a little different than mine. That's okay. All right, let's work that core a little bit now here. So coming back, we're gonna lift and then step behind. Lift, bringing those arms together to really work the core. And as you can see, I'm not terribly graceful here. That's okay, because this isn't a performance, it's a practice. 4, let's go to 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Holding this up, I'm going to flex the foot for dancing Shiva. And now release, step behind. We'll come into our extended side angle. Back foot's at an angle. Front toe is pointing forward. You're going to lean forward, and I'm going to release all the way down. This stretch feels really good to me, but I know it can be intense and difficult for some. Use your breath and have patience with your body as it opens up. All right, bending the front knee, walk the hands forward. We're gonna lift up that back leg. There you go, coming into standing splits. And now let's curtsy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll just release this leg down, coming into a forward fold. Just release any tension here. And then let's do this one more time on each side. Sound good? If I can remember all the steps I have here. Okay, making my way into downward facing dog. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna just walk it out here. Give myself a little stretch break. Okay, let's go back to the right side. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step or help it through. Back foot comes down. Make your way up to warrior 1 first. Just holding this pose. Okay, now we're gonna make our way into our modified airplane. So I'm gonna hop this foot back and lean forward here. Okay, and I'm gonna lower down and lift up. Lower down, lift up. This will be my last one. Come up, and I'm going to take this back leg and step behind. Interlacing the fingers, I'm going to stretch up and over here. And releasing the hands behind me, opening up through the chest. Bringing the weight into the front leg, bending that knee a little bit. First, I'm going to drop that back heel. Lift up, and then lower to a curtsy. I'm going to release the hands here. Lower back, excuse me, and lower. I'm going to do 3 more of these. And 10. And lower. And lift. And now let's step behind. And we're going to bring that leg up and then step behind. Lift. So working out through the waist here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then last one, I'm going to bring that leg up, flexing it, extending the palms, coming into dancing Shiva. Now bring this leg in front, back foot comes down, coming into extended side stretch or triangle stretch. Just one more side and then we'll cool down. All right, bend that front knee, walking the hands forward. We're gonna lift this back leg up. And now let's curtsy lunge. Six, 7, 8, 9, and I'm gonna go to 10, and then maybe just play with balance here. I like to try to see if I can bring my hands back towards the ankle, or if I can bring my hands to heart center. Some days this works, some days it doesn't. Kind of looks like today's not gonna really go, which is okay. Oh, there we go. And release. All right, forward fold. Let's make our way back into downward facing dog. We'll get that other side. And then we'll just stretch out and relax. Sound good? All right. Lift this left leg up. You're gonna step it through. Bring the back foot down. And make your way up. Warrior one. All right, bringing this front foot back, or the back foot front, doesn't really matter which. We're gonna make our way into a modified airplane pose here. So the back toe's down, or you can have it up if you have better balance. And we're gonna lower down and lift up. So almost like you're picking up a handkerchief here. Who knew that when your kid wanted to drop stuff off their tray table that they were helping you exercise? And you can do this more slowly if you prefer. Last one, make your way up. Taking this top leg, we're gonna step behind, interlace the hands, stretch up and over. Reach behind, interlace. And I'm gonna bend, dropping the back heel, lift up, and then curtsy. I'm gonna bring my hands to heart center. Bend, drop the leg back, and curtsy. Bend, and curtsy. And I'm out of breath. I hope you got a good workout too. More. And last one, lower and lift. And now we're gonna lift this back leg up. So lift and then step behind. Lift, 2, 3, let's go to 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now coming into dancing Shiva. Release here, coming into our pyramid pose, lean forward. I like to move my head around here in these forward folds because I tend to get a lot of tension in my neck. All right, bringing the weight into that front leg, bending the knee. One last push here. Lift that back leg up and we're gonna curtsy and lift. Six, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and release it down. Come into that forward fold. All right, let's do a wide leg forward fold. So you can come to the side of your mat. Feet are parallel, legs are nice and wide. We're gonna release down into a wide leg forward fold. All right, let's twist up to the front. So lifting up, I'll come back so you can see me a little better. Peeling up. And release. Let's peel it to the other side. And release again. And coming down onto your mat. So we're going to come into a what's called a fire log pose. So bringing one leg up, the other leg's going to be parallel, and you may keep it here. In fact, you can even put a cushion underneath this leg to kind of support it. I'm a little more flexible, so I'm going to bring that leg down. But you don't have to. You can have it up, and again, you can have a cushion underneath it. Just stretching out with all those lunges, we really worked the rear. So I want to stretch out through the back of the leg here. This can be very intense, but you shouldn't feel deep pain. You should feel intensity, but if you feel any stinging, zinging pain, come out of it. All right, let's try the other side. So bringing the other leg underneath, bringing it parallel to the front of your mat. The other leg's gonna come up here, and you may be pretty tight. You may even just be holding on to this leg. Or you can put a cushion between your foot and the knee. Or if you're a little more flexible, you might come all the way into this pose. Or I guess I should say a lot more flexible. This is called fire log because, well, I think it's because it's not an easy stretch. It's very intense. You never want to push that intensity into pain. With yoga, we're trying to develop a healthy relationship with the body, learning to trust it, to listen to it, to push it and challenge it, and ultimately to become your own best friend. We're often working at cross purposes with our body, treating it like a car that we drive. Your body's more than that. It's part of who you are, and the more you can develop a harmonious relationship with it, the healthier you're going to be, and the more intuitive you're going to be. It's not just for physical health, but for mental health, because we tend to carry a lot of emotion in the body, and if we can be connected, we can release that emotion and be free. All right, let's release this, and we're just gonna come into, wow, it's getting late, so you can take off if you need to, but I'm gonna do one last corpse pose. So just gently lying down on your mat. You can also lay on your side. Walk those feet up, and we're going to roll over onto our side. Coming into a seated pose. You can stay in corpse pose longer. I just didn't leave a lot of time for that. I'm just gonna windshield wiper my knees back and forth, giving my backside a massage here. And now coming into a seated pose, bringing your hands to heart center and your thumbs to forehead center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful day.